Eliminating Stress, Module 5, Thought, a 3 principles-based presentation. Copyright David Philip Kromka, 2024. What you see here is a funnel-like diagram representing the quality and quantity of thought available to us at multiple levels of understanding. Movement upward along the vertical axis depicts levels of increasing positivity, higher quality, which come with insights. As we have noted, increases brought on by insight also increase the quantity of thought available to us. We retain what we have learned previously, to which we add new stuff. This is why the ovals, which represent the quantity of thought available to us, get larger as we move upwards. Movies, operas, and commercials frequently associate musical themes with characters or events. These themes are known as leitmotifs. Yeah, I minored in music, so shoot me. A memorable leitmotif is the dump dump da da dump dump da da dump dump da da dump dump da da, followed by a flute playing as the theme from many Mission Impossible movies. Leitmotifs can be used to characterize various levels of functioning as well. People functioning at level 1 have quite limited breadth and quality of thinking. This means that they're most in need of help, but least capable of finding helpful answers at the moment. Because the quality of thinking is dark, their view of life will tend to be dark. They will tend to perceive the world as a more hostile place and may therefore tend to experience fearful emotions, which may give rise to defensive, antisocial behavior, open hostility, or social withdrawal. The leitmotif might be the da-dum, 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 da-dum theme from Jaws that warns us of an approaching shark. Relationships tend to be adversarial. Every time they try to think of a way to help themselves, they come up with the same few dark and unsatisfactory ideas. This leads to habitual, repetitive, and problematic behavior. Attempts to participate in life, solve problems, tend to be difficult. The lack of success can be discouraging, causing them to lose self-esteem. This tends to compound problems since the worse they feel, the farther down the narrow part of this funnel they descend, and the possibility of finding helpful answers decreases. Because they have a smaller breadth of thought available to them, their actions will tend to be repetitive and habitual, and generally fruitless. As my carpenter friend Dan Heckerman used to say, "I keep cutting and cutting, and it's still too short." By the way, this explains why police often look for patterns to solve crimes. Criminal behavior is antisocial, which means criminals tend to function in the lower end of the funnel where their behavior tends to be repetitive. People in level 1 are likely to experience frustration, anger, or hopelessness. Their internal chemistry and organs would reflect this emotional state as well. A hopeless person's digestive system may bog down. For example, I knew a lady who had such difficulty with her marriage that she experienced frequent severe digestive problems. She got a divorce and found a happy life with a new husband. Those problems have not resurfaced. So her internal problems were symptomatic of her mental distress. On the other hand, people trying to stay ahead of perceived hostility might have a lot of adrenaline going through their bodies due to fearful emotions. The speed of thinking can be quite rapid, since people in level 1 have fewer thoughts from which to choose, and each thought produces dark perceptions, dark emotions, and dark behavior. So one unsatisfactory idea is quickly dropped in hopes that the next one will be better. Their minds would be quite busy or agitated. People in this state of mind are troubled. They want to have nicer lives, but fear what might happen if they quit trying to help themselves. Even if the results are bad, at least I'm trying. They fear if they stop, they will plummet further down the dark end of the funnel. So they may become addicted to drugs, alcohol, sex, and so on as a way to distract themselves from the pain they feel. But those pains just arise from their habitual thoughts. The reason it seems difficult to dismiss those thoughts is that they occur so frequently that they are mistaken for reality. But thoughts can be dismissed. Better to not know what to do than to entertain these thoughts. Learn to recognize the warning signs. A classic scene in horror movies is going down into a dark basement when the lights won't come on. We all know that danger lies ahead, but the idiots go down there anyway. Sometimes people in the audience are even yelling, "Don't go down there," at the screen. Mentally, sometimes we get troubled and decide to investigate what that thought was about. So we enter a gray or dark experience and then try to think our way out. Nothing good is going to come of it. The dark thoughts produce more problems, not answers. We're going to fumble around in the darkness. Just like in horror movies, the best thing to do is flee as soon as possible. Mentally, fleeing takes the form of letting troubling thoughts go. When the thoughts go, we'll feel relief and gain perspective. Being happy makes us stronger. My karate master, Chotoku Omine, once mentioned to me that at certain festivals in Okinawa, villages would engage in a tug of war using a very large and very long rope. He said that the village that usually won was the one that was there to have the best and happiest time. I personally discovered that being angry or upset makes us weaker while working at Memorex some years back, where I also taught karate classes on site. I had attended a particularly disagreeable meeting at the end of the day. To make it worse, it ran overtime, making me late for my own class. My students knew to start class on time, so they were already practicing when I showed up. My policy for arriving late was the tardy person would do 25 push-ups. I dropped down to do my push-ups, still angry about how the meeting had gone. By the time I got to push-up number 7, I realized that I would have to let go of my anger, or push-up number 8 was not going to happen. So I got over it and completed my push-ups. No matter how long one has practiced karate, one can still push one's limits. I still work hard and I still feel the burn. But when I do feel the burn, I smile and keep going. I know some of my students think I don't feel any pain and that I am enjoying myself. And in a way that's true because I have found a way that helps me to get through difficult times in life, as well as karate. I smile. Because I feel better, I gain a better view of matters, and that tends to help. At level 2 in the funnel diagram, people would tend to live lives permeated by the blues. While this is better than anger or hopelessness, it is still not a level where life is enjoyed. The mental pace is plodding, and the leitmotif could be B.B. King's "The Thrill Is Gone." The general thinking might be along the lines of, "I kind of thought it could have worked out better." People on this level tend to be more pro-social than people in level 1, but they're cautious about getting their hopes up. They have pulled the mental drain plug on their morale and frequently try to rebuild it by seeking approval, attention, or sympathy from others, but the drain is still open. Depression is common here. Many of their conversations tend to be about themselves. They may tend to have low energy. I mean, why make the effort when it is hard to get things to work out? Internally, they may have poor appetites. They may take cautious approaches to life because they are concerned that mistakes must be avoided. However, the reduced breadth of thought increases the likelihood of mistakes and consequently validates their views of a world which is not working in their favor. At level 3, the perception is that life is fairly rosy and appealing. "Aren't people sweet?" might be the outlook. The leitmotif might be "Good Life" by One Republic. Emotions are more cheerful and behaviors more prosocial. As a consequence, interactions are more positive and productive. People like to be around people who are positive. Since a greater breadth of thinking is available, the expansive view reveals more connections and relationships. This enables more comprehensive understanding of matters. Success is more frequent and energy is more upbeat, as is the mental outlook. Their bodies enjoy the positive feelings their minds carry with them throughout the day. At level 4, life tends to look like a gift. I love my life might be the outlook, and the leitmotif could be Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. Good things just seem to fall into people's laps. Problem solving is easy. Other people are a joy. Physical health tends to be good as the body enjoys the positive vibes. The mental state is more peaceful. Monitoring oneself is unnecessary since one is able to handle problems as they occur. Life tends to go quite nicely since most people respond well to a person with such a bright outlook. As a result, most interactions have good outcomes. For a while, there has been a term called eustress, which is defined as a healthful, stimulating kind of stress. I think someone's been selling snake oil here. Stress is defined as a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Eustress is proposed as a positive form of something negative. Look, it's either positive or not. It can't be both. I don't think these people understand inspiration or how it works. When stressed, it is useful to have the understanding that tells us we're out to lunch and to let current thinking depart. It takes a bit of humility to admit it, but humility feels better than stress. Engaging negative experiences with a stressed out state of mind requires willpower, which strains us further. On the other hand, moments of inspiration lift our spirits and propel us the way a wave propels a surfer through the ocean. In summary, we can't think our way to a higher level of understanding. At any level, each thought we may select is colored by that level of understanding, and so puts us back into that same level from which it has come. It doesn't lift us because our efforts consume energy, which may drain us and move us to lower levels. If we find we're having difficulties, temporarily abandoning our mental efforts returns us to the warmth of our consciousness, which will tend to elevate our spirits and view on matters. Please recall that moments of insight through which we are lifted to a higher view announce their presence with mental silence and a sense of wonder. There are people who attempt to fake inspiration, but it doesn't work because it too makes the mind busy and consumes energy. We have to see whatever is new first. After that, we can think about it. Lower levels of understanding provide limited, dark, and unsatisfactory thoughts and feelings. Since the thinking is limited and dark, life appears hostile, giving rise to habitual and defensive or antisocial behavior. Our minds may get very busy in the search for helpful thoughts, jumping from one unhelpful thought to the next. As our understanding rises, life looks and feels progressively more favorable. Dysfunctional thinking and behavior evaporate, and less effort is required to engage in life's various activities. People who have been holding on to troubling thoughts may worry about solving their problems if they just let go of those thoughts. But as you see, feeling better gives us access to brighter and more expansive thinking, with which problems may be solved. Having insights is a lot like putting on perfume or cologne. We notice and appreciate the fragrance for a moment, but we get quickly used to it and fail to notice it any further. This doesn't mean it is not there for others to notice and often make compliments, as it is unusual in their experience. Having had an insight may mean we've gained new abilities or understanding. It certainly means the feeling we carry with us has been deepened. However, it quickly becomes normal for us to be that way. We may be inspired to act in some beneficial manner, and that's fine. We all love having insights, but if we make a big deal about having them, our busy minds will cloud matters, making the next insight more difficult to become known. It is best, therefore, to regard having insights as a normal human function, quite ordinary. Also remember that having insights is not a matter of willpower, which requires mental activity based on what we know. It is instead more of a gift for which we did not know we were waiting. Deeper feelings produced by insight become ordinary, so ordinary that almost everyone misses its presence in themselves, but sees it in others and recognizes it as special. So they try to be special as well, which takes effort, consumes energy, and draws them away from that which they seek in themselves. This is a significant problem in the world today. It is quite ordinary to see everyone trying to be special, and it rarely works out. On the other hand, it's quite special to find someone who is willing to be ordinary. Mentally healthy people humbly consider their condition as ordinary and unremarkable, which explains why mental health researchers miss the significance. Okay, the learning objectives for this module. Understand the role thought plays in producing our experience of life. It's thought that provides life with form, which includes our perception via the senses and intellect, our various emotions, and our behavior as we interact with the world, as well as the behavior that takes place within our bodies. 2. Understand the transitory nature of thought. The natural flow of thought is to appear for a fleeting moment, have an effect of minimal duration, and depart. 3. Understand how insight produces both qualitative and quantitative improvements in our thinking. By means of insight, we discover a more comprehensive and superior understanding of matters under investigation. And 4. Understand how our perceptions, emotions, and behavior vary in concert with various levels of inspiration and understanding. How at ease do we feel or do not feel acts as a kind of barometer that suggests the wisdom of our current thinking. Next, we'll see what happens as we view the ongoing play of thought brought to consciousness.